Peace and blessings, everyone. It's your girl Mocaso, and I'm excited for another Women in the Metaverse here, where we come into the treehouse and talk about different things that are going to sharpen each other and just continue to elevate our minds. You guys know this month is all about different variations, or this season is all about different variations, and this month we've been talking about history, right? It's Black History Month, and although we didn't necessarily dive into Black history too much, we did use that to inspire the topic of our conversation. So I'm very excited to actually dive in today, where we will keep the conversation going. Last week we talked about women who made history and also inspire us, and today we're going to be actually talking about how to make history, right? Because that's what we all have an opportunity to do. So let's get right into it. First and foremost, that is our question for today. So make sure you drop it in the comments. How can you impact history? Let us know, because again, we are all living through history. Now, if you've been and listened to a few of our shows before, you guys have maybe heard me go on my rant about this being the fourth industrial revolution that we're living through, and how powerful that is, because we literally study the first, second, and third heavily throughout school, because it changes our society. Our society is literally transforming before our eyes, and we are a part of that transformation. And those that see that are going to be the most impactful, while those that don't even realize it's happening, it'll happen and they'll be like, oh wow, I didn't even realize what was happening. So which one are you? Are you going to stand by and watch it happen? Or are you going to be a part of that? And if you want to be a part of that history and that change that's happening, let's dive into how we can actually impact history, because that's again what it is, the impact that we make, because we are here today. So whether you want to be a part of it or not, you are a part of this history. You are a part of this generation and this time period. And it's on you again on how big of an impact you're going to have in this. So with that being said, I did want to cover 5 different ways that it is known to actually impact history, right? Because you might be thinking at this point like, okay, Mo, history is changing. We have a chance to impact history, but how? How can I impact history? Well, let me give you a few ways. Number 1, innovations and inventions. Okay, so throughout history, many people have made significant contributions to society by inventing new things or developing new technologies that revolutionize the way we live. And so some examples could be the printing press, the steam engine, electricity, and the internet. Now, we are going to dive all into the variations of the internet and Metaverse and Web3 and all of that next month. But think again about how the printing press changed things, how the steam engine changed things, how electricity changed things, the internet, and how those literally changed our entire society. Right? But those are larger things by coming up with innovations and inventions. So I love when people call themselves innovators, because they see, what is here and how we can do that better, right? Or add to that so that we become more efficient and proficient. And that's all that innovation is, right? It's seeing somebody do something, and all you have to do is be able to make it 3% better to make an impact for that and for yourself. So think about that. Then there's also political leadership. Now, of course, that's almost a no-brainer, because we know, political leaders have made a significant impact in history for better or for worse. Now, we've had leaders like Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., Nelson Mandela, that all inspired movements of social change and fought for things like equality and justice. Okay, so again, and then you also have the contrary, where there's like Hitler and others that led the countries down paths of destruction and devastation. So again, when we are looking at the politics, and that's why I don't even try to have too many political conversations, but again, we can see how, nonetheless, having that power, you were able to lead a society, lead a movement, and plant seeds for better or for worse. And then we also have social movements, from the civil rights movement to feminist movement to even LGBTQ plus right movements. Social movements have played a crucial role in shaping history. They have brought attention to important issues and pushed for change in laws and societal norms. Did you guys hear me? Push for change in laws. Okay, how important is it when we actually change the law of things, and then that law is reinforced and implemented, and then everybody has to abide by it or suffer the consequences. So again, that's why these social movements are important, and you being a part of those is your way of, supporting something that you may want to see change. And so then we also have scientific discoveries. So scientists have made many discoveries throughout history that have had a profound impact of our understanding of the world and our ability to shape it. This includes discoveries such as the structure of DNA, the theory of relativity, and the development of vaccines. Now, again, these scientific discoveries, we have all gone through a period in time these past, 5 years at this point. No, maybe 3 years. Maybe I gassed it a bit. 3 or 4 years. But again, how much, I'm sure people would have never thought our entire society across the world would have locked down. But it happened. And then a lot came from that. And this was due to scientific discoveries that are still developing today, because a lot that was happening at that time, people understood they don't know the long-term effects of some things. They don't know the short term. And one thing I always tell people about doctors and things of that nature is they're all practicing medicine as well. It's just practice, right? You get better with practice. And so that's something, again, we all have to be mindful of as a society as we come together and, do these different scientific experiments, almost in a sense, to see the cause and effect and how it changes our society. And then even something like I just said, the DNA, right? How your DNA is structured, traveling to space, and all these different things that scientists are fighting to discover is literally changing what we, even as humans, want to focus on in ourselves, right? It's changing what our kids are studying and what they are inspiring to go and develop from here. And so then we also have artistic and cultural contributions, which would be art, music, literature, and other forms of cultural expression, which have the power to shape our perceptions of the world and to inspire change. So we have artists like Michelangelo, Shakespeare, and Picasso that have left and lasting impact on human history through their contributions of the arts. And that is exactly why I call myself the Mocasso, because I understood that I wanted to make a lasting impact just like Picasso, right? And not that, one of the sad things about Picasso is that he really didn't get a lot of his notoriety until after he had gone. And so for me, I that's what I always tell people, right? I'm not in it to become famous. I don't want to be walking around the world and earth being famous. I enjoy peace, and I enjoy just creating and impacting the world and being here for generations to come. And so that is, again, how we can use even art or different things that will actually just impact our culture as a whole and contribute to that. And that's why I even call myself, again, the Mocasso of NFTs, because that is the new era of art. And to me, even the way I construct businesses and try to help other businesses go physical to digital, that's art to me. If you get any of my Google Sheets or Google Forms or any kind of email or anything like that, I'm going to even make it look a pleasable way, right? By bolding and colors and coordinating and making it efficient for the person to understand. And that is something that I even consider art in my business, and I take it very serious. And that is how I feel, again, I am impacting how people do business and impacting the way that people do business, because even how we do business is evolving, right? We're moving to a world of stakeholder capitalism and DAOs, and again, a new way that we can actually do business. And we're all trying that right now. And I'm a part of that by seeing the big mission that our, leaders are putting out there in these blueprints and giving it a try, applying it, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work, and contributing to this new way of doing business. Because again, that's the key here. Seeing what's happening and contributing to that, because now we can all see what works and what doesn't work. But if you're not being a part of that, then you can't be mad at the end results if it doesn't work for you. And so again, that's why I take it so serious to say, hey, we have a chance to impact history. So how can we impact history? So again, those were a lot of the broader ways that we can impact history. And I hope me even explaining those a bit more, you guys seeing again how we can impact society and just again the way that we are operating. But even taking it a step back, I wanted to again say, well, okay, Mo, I done got y'all gassed up, right? With change is happening. We are in history and we are making history right now. But what can you actually do right now to start impacting history? Well, I'm glad you asked, because I have a few other ways for how you can impact history as well. And as you guys know, if you've seen our episode last week where we had a few more ladies around, this is the whole point of the conversation. I like just posing a question, giving a little blurb of a background for some food for thought, and then just putting the question out there. So I'm going to answer it myself by giving you all a few examples on how you can start to impact history now. And then I would love for you to comment in as well, and then I'll go back and read those. So join the conversation, but let's get right into how we can actually make history right now. Well, number one, advocate for change. Whether it's through social media, attending rallies or protests, or writing your elected representatives, you can use your voice to advocate for change on issues that matter to you. By speaking out about injustices and inequality, you can help raise awareness and inspire others to take action. Now, I know this one is one that, again, people feel conflicted with, but I was in the march where, all the women got together. I don't remember the name of the march, unfortunately, but it was in DC, and it was like the Women March, and we marched all through DC, and I still remember that to this day. I still have pictures to this day, and I still love that I had a chance to experience that and did it with other women and got to see what that felt like to be around others that were marching in the streets advocating for change. And then again, we have other ways where, like we said, even by sharing on social media, maybe it's not something as huge as, a march and a rally in the street, because, now society is super crazy, so maybe that's not your thing. I know it's not necessarily my thing. That was just a thing that I wanted to be a part of that. I believe in women and the power that we have when we come together and our voices being heard. But even as small as Instagram, right? I know as soon as I have a indifference with a company, I'm like, don't make me go tweet about you, because if I tweet about you, others are going to see it. And then it really only takes but a flip of a switch for others to jump on that. And then, we are in this cancel culture now where culture and society is coming together to support others to say, hey, no, that's not right. You all need to change how you're doing business and correct that. And it was something as simple as I seen a designer today who had her own unique designs, and it wasn't selected to be on a platform. But when she posted about it and said, why hers wasn't selected and how it made her feel, all of her supporters started commenting, to a point where that platform also had to comment and apologize and say, hey, you know what? We've got to go reconsider, because this shouldn't have happened. And then also on another point from that, right? Because now we have this, again, freedom of expression that we are all figuring out, especially in this digital world, and the censorship and, what is offensive and what is not, and to whom, and not excluding others because of that. But then also when we talk about that exclusion, there's another example of another powerful Black community that is in the Metaverse space, and they actually dealt with people doing blackface in the Metaverse and mocking them, and it was disgusting. But they came and they put it out there on social media, and they let everybody know who these people were to, again, impact change, right? To say, hey, this is what's happening, and this is not what we want as we are building this new way of being able to connect, this new way of being able to network. Let's cut all of that in the bud and get it out the way now so that we as a community can come together and say, hey, you know what? That's not right. You shouldn't be doing that. And let's take action together to be able to, again, hold people accountable and let them know that, again, this isn't right. So those are, again, how we can start making that impact right now, because both of those situations, although it didn't affect me, I was there liking the post or commenting or reposting so that it did have an impact. And although it may not have seemed like it impacted our world globally, it impacted that designer and that platform and the founders of the platforms. For both of those situations where the founders of those platforms had to consider how they can protect those people that are on these platforms. And again, that is the power that we possess by being early, and most importantly, by coming together. So advocacy for others and for what you believe in is a great way to start today, whenever you see that. So other ways that we can also impact change right now is mentoring others. Now, sharing your knowledge and skills with others can have a ripple effect that lasts generations. Whether you mentor a young person in your community or provide guidance to someone starting out in your field, you can help shape the future and make a positive impact on the lives of others. And there's a beautiful philosophy that I love, which is, if you save one man, you save all of men. And it is beautiful because, again, we never know the impact that we have on others' lives. So if you take a moment to just pass something that you learned to another person, again, you are changing their lives. And I know that's one of those things that really just make me feel so fulfilled when I hear somebody say, wow, Mo, you really changed my life, like changed the direction and brought it all full circle. And I see them continue to build. I see their life literally change and are on this direction that I can see success for them, right? Because some people never even see that, right? They kind of get stuck in their way or may have hit a hurdle and don't know how to get over it. And so being somebody that has fresh eyes and fresh ideas and just being able to talk through a situation with them to offer an insight on, hey, look, I've been here and this is what I was able to do to get over that hurdle. Or like, hey, I'm right here with you and we're going to get over that hurdle together. That is how we make an impact today. Because again, even changing one life, you're going to change that person's kid's life or their sibling's life or their parents' life or whomever is around them. They're going to also see that change in them, which again can continue to have so many ripples that we don't even realize. And then that's it. Those are the two ways that I would definitely suggest everybody can start impacting change today. And that is because that is what you guys see me doing all day, every day. Because again, I want to be a part of this change. I want to impact history. And I'm here doing it. I'm not just talking about it. I'm here being about it. Whether there's a bunch of people here with me or nobody here with me, I always emphasize that I'm going to keep doing this and keep recording because I see y'all listening. And I see y'all listening a week later, a month later, a year later. And when you are ready to listen and ready to dive in, I want to be here and have these gems to pass on so that hey, I know I can go meet up with Mo at the Women in the Metaverse Treehouse on Monday if I want to connect. Or I know that Mo is going to be dropping some gems every Monday for what women in the metaverse are doing and how we can sharpen each other's iron and just continue to elevate our minds, or any kind of way or any kind of thing that we can continue to do to support each other during this time. That's what I'm all about. And that's how I believe that we can make history. We can impact history. And that's it. And so hopefully, by the time our kids are in school, hopefully they're reading about powerful women like ourselves, or powerful listeners, whether you're man or female. We call it Women in the Metaverse because we want to welcome women and show women that we are here and there is a place for you. But again, we aren't exclusive. We are open for anyone that wants to be a part of the conversation, because that's what it's all about, just supporting and continue to keep this conversation going. So you guys know I'm not going to ramble on too long. I just wanted to go over these quick ways on how we can start impacting history and making history today. I hope you learned something, picked up something, and that it inspired you a little bit more to really go out and be a part of history. Because like I said, you're part of it whether you like it or not. And it's on you to decide how big of an impact that's going to be. So catch us next week, where we'll be diving into our next version of variations. Next month is our last month about variations. So I know I've kind of been talking about this idea of variations for a while now, but that's because here in the P2d Raw Network and Raw DAO, we always have a theme, and our theme is variations. So next month we'll be talking about the variations of the internet, such as Web 1, Web 2, Web 3, also variations of the Metaverse. On every third Monday we have Moms in the Metaverse, where Tiny will actually lead that discussion. And then we're also going to talk about AI, variations of AI as well. And so, because again, you guys know I had to get back to the technical side. It's been really great talking about history and all of our different topics, but I definitely wanted to kind of get back into all of the different variations of technology as well, because there are so many, and I think some people don't even realize that. So we're going to take some time diving into each of those different concepts throughout next month. I hope to see you guys here in the WIM Treehouse, and if not, catch the replay at the least. I appreciate you all, and make sure you really drop your comment below with what is one way that you would suggest that we can impact history starting today. Let me know. Peace.